Question: what is nutrition to you? Stay tuned. Good day. This is Paul Eugene, and welcome to Inspiring You. A new day has been given to you and to me. Let us unwrap and receive this gift of today. Well, today we're going to talk about nutrition. And I have a guest with me today by the name of Young Jerold, and he's going to share with you all you need to know about nutrition. Welcome, Young Jerold.
Thank you, Paul. It's good to see you, and I do appreciate this opportunity. My name's Young Jerold, like you mentioned. I'm 59 years young. I've been into fitness many years, but it became my career in 2020 when I got certified as a personal trainer. And in 2021, I established Spirit and Muscle to help Christian believers get fit and stay fit so they can love God and love their neighbor more effectively.
Thank you. Well, the question that's going through my mind is when we hear the word nutrition, sometimes we kind of get it confused with diet. And sometimes when we hear diet, we don't even consider nutrition. Can you help clarify that?
Sure. Well, I use the terms diet and nutrition interchangeably. But I know what you're getting at. The word diet conjures up ideas of a temporary fix, something you do for, 4 weeks or 8 weeks or something like that. And then you go back to your normal eating, quote unquote, which is usually not too healthy to begin with. So what we're talking about here is diet or nutrition in terms of making a permanent lifestyle change. Does that help?
Yes, that does help. And the key word there is lifestyle change. We don't always hear that word lifestyle change when we hear these diets. So that helps clarify that. Now, the question that I have for you next is this. Could you share with me what are some of the benefits of nutrition?
Absolutely. Well, nutrition is, you've heard the saying, you are what you eat. Well, physically, that's very true. There's a direct correlation between what we eat and our health. When we eat healthy, our body responds by functioning well. And when we eat unhealthy, our body responds by having less energy, lowered immune system, getting sick more often, and possibly even developing chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes and heart disease and obesity.
Okay. Now, could you give us an example of what good nutrition is or looks like?
Yes, in a nutshell, good nutrition is balanced eating. You want to focus on whole foods, plenty of fruits and vegetables, and basically making sure that your body's getting all the nutrients it needs to function at its best. Your body, to break that down a little bit, you need a balance of macronutrients, protein, fats, and carbs, and micronutrients, which are vitamins and minerals, in order to function at your best. And to break it down even further, protein is the building blocks of tissue, and that's found in meats, eggs, cheese, legumes, foods like that. Carbohydrates are primarily used as energy in the body, and they're found in grains, in fruits and vegetables. And fats are not the enemy, contrary to popular belief. Fats are very important for your health. They support cell growth and hormone production and are carriers for fat-soluble vitamins. And fats are found in nuts and oils and fatty meats and fish. And that kind of sums up what is good nutrition.
Okay. Now, since you explained to us what is good nutrition, I could not help but ask you, what is bad nutrition?
Bad nutrition, sadly, look at the average American diet for the most part. Bad nutrition is either not getting enough nutrients or not getting the right balance of nutrients. And common in our culture is eating a diet that's too high in fat, saturated fats, and refined and processed foods such as sugar and white flour, things like that. And if you don't mind, I'll give you an example from my own life. Of course, I'm a fitness guy for many years. I work out and I track my diet and my macros and all that. But in the past, I haven't always made the best food choices. Even though I tracked my food down to the calorie, I always budgeted in uh, calories for Big Mac for lunch 4 or 5 days a week, and sweet treats, ice cream and cookies, nearly every night. And I thought I had the best of both worlds. I was not overweight and I felt all right, I thought. But a few years ago, it started catching up to me in the form of high blood pressure, acid reflux, and other things caused by chronic inflammation in the body caused by what I was eating. And I didn't connect the dots. But my doctor told me straight up I was getting some acid reflux medication. I had like a chronic cough going on, and it was caused by acid. But anyway, he told me I could cure the acid reflux without medication by simply cutting out sugar and refined carbs and processed foods and high fat foods and fried foods and condiments. And I looked at him and said, "Oh, is that all?" Because that's all my favorite foods. But you know what? My health was starting to go down, and it was like God was talking to me through this doctor, and I knew I needed to make a change. So with God's help, I was able to quit everything cold turkey. And you know what? He was right. The acid reflux was gone in 3 days. I had no more chronic cough, and everything else started getting better. And so, yeah, I learned my lesson maybe the hard way.
Hmm. Well, that was very interesting, and I thank you for sharing that. But as you were speaking, I was thinking about those of us who are in the older population now. I usually speak about baby boomers and seniors and elderly, but I also include Generation X because they are right behind me. So, as an aging population, what tips could you give us in terms of us making sure we have a good nutritional meal? I was going to use the word diet, but I was hesitant.
Right. Well, us includes me as well. I'm 59 years young. So, as we get older, our bodies become even more sensitive to what we put in them. And good nutrition and exercise, for that matter, becomes even more important. And our metabolism can slow down, leading to weight gain. Some of us may start to lose our appetites, leading to unhealthy weight loss, or some like me just become way more sensitive to all the unhealthy junk foods that are in a traditional American diet. But in any case, the key is to be more intentional about what we put in our bodies and focus on that balanced diet with whole foods and plenty of fruits and vegetables.
Okay. Well, that leads me to a question that I have about what are the spiritual benefits or aspects of having good nutrition?
Yes, well, this is, as Christians, obviously a key component to our lives. I think of 1 Corinthians 6, verse 19 and 20 says, "Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you've received from God? You are not your own, you are bought at a price. Therefore, glorify God with your body." So when we eat unhealthy and don't take care of ourselves, we're not really glorifying God with our body. But when we eat well and exercise, it brings honor to God. And yeah, I like to call it temple maintenance.
Okay, temple maintenance. That's an interesting word. I would use that on Twitter. You don't mind?
Not at all.
Well, that leads me to my next question. It has to do with what is commonly known in our world today as diets, or another word, fad diets. And I'm going to bring three to you and ask your opinion on them: the keto, the Mediterranean diet, and intermittent fasting. What is your take on those?
Gotcha. Yeah, there's a ton of like fad diets floating around, but those three are probably among the most popular. So I'll start with intermittent fasting. So for those of you who aren't familiar with that term, that's where you fast for part of the day and eat for the other part. You restrict your eating. For example, fasting 16 hours of each day and only eating during an 8-hour window. There's other variations, but that's probably the most common one. And there are some health benefits, actually. Uh, Fasting induces important cellular repair processes and removes waste materials from the body. Fasting also reduces inflammation in the body. It lowers insulin and raises growth hormone levels. And all this is backed up in research, by the way. And also, lowering calories obviously leads to losing weight. So, healthy benefits. There are some cons. Some people can't handle not eating for longer periods of time. And also, if muscle building is a goal, or if maintaining lean body mass as we age is a concern, then this is not an optimum way to eat. You want to eat more often throughout the day and make sure you get plenty of protein. Next is the Mediterranean diet, which is known as the healthiest diet in the world. This is an eating plan based on the traditional eating patterns of the countries bordering the Mediterranean Sea. And it's rich in fruits and vegetables and legumes and whole grains and fish and healthy fats such as nuts and olive oil. And processed foods and refined carbs are off the table completely. And red meat and dairy products are allowed in moderation. And it sounds very healthy, and it in fact is. It's healthy for your heart, lowers blood sugar, lowers cholesterol and triglycerides and blood pressure, and it has been found to be sustainable. There's a lot of variety and a lot of yummy food choices, but there are some cons. It can be more time consuming, shopping and cooking. You can't get a
Mhm.
lot of those kind of foods eating out, so it can be more time consuming. And for us Westerners, restricting all refined and processed foods is a hard hurdle to jump. I know from experience. And the last con, it may be too low in protein, again, if building muscle or if maintaining lean body mass is an issue for you. So that's the Mediterranean diet. And then the ketogenic diet is, watch this, you can eat red meat and cheese and bacon and butter and heavy cream and still lose weight. So that's pretty appealing to most Americans. So to define it, the keto diet is a very low carb, high fat diet which puts the body in a state of ketosis, where the body switches from burning primarily glucose for energy to using more fat for energy. And in that process, ketones are produced, hence the name keto or ketogenic diet. So there are benefits in ketosis. Insulin and blood sugar levels drop. So cravings and hunger is reduced. And keto is popular because it works, at least short term. Uh, there are some cons. One is called a phenomenon called the keto flu. And when you first switch over to eating like this, you can get headaches and nausea and constipation, but it is temporary and it goes away in a few weeks. And another con is called keto breath. Ketones are released through your breath and sweating, making your body and breath smell a little strange. And I've tried this diet myself, and my wife can tell you it's a little strange, but it too goes away over time. Um, anyways, another con is cutting out nearly all carbs, cuts out fiber from your diet, which is important for digestion. And the last con is it's difficult to adhere to long term. People who do this for long term say that it becomes too restrictive and just not sustainable. And to sum it up for me, I'm not a fan of any diet or eating plan that cuts out entire food groups. That's just not balanced or healthy to me. So that about sums it up.
Okay. Well, I myself have experience all three of those. And I did not stick to them. Just like you mentioned, I found myself weaning my way back to what I like when I wanted it. But this leads me to my next question to you is how can you help us?
I'm glad you asked that. Yes, I can help. I offer nutrition coaching in the form of personalized meal plans. I offer plans for both men and women based on your individual fitness goals. And you can choose the foods you want to include or avoid, and I'll make it work for you. Each meal plan comes with easy to follow recipes and a printable grocery list. And my goal with this coaching is for you to eat well and be satisfied and feel great and get the results you're looking for.
Okay. Now, my next question is how can we get in touch with you?
Well, I have just so happens I have a free resource for all Paul Eugene listeners. It's a free 1 day sample meal plan so you can actually see what my meal plan actually looks like. And it's a small sampling of thousands of recipes in my database, but it will show you how delicious your meals can be and how easy it is to follow. So to get one, go to spiritandmuscle.com/meal plan. And Paul, maybe you can put that link in the description of this video as well.
Okay. Well, that means that you're going to make me go shopping, right?
Just a little.
Yes, I know. I'm just joking. Well, I'd like to thank you for being here with me today. However, do you have any parting words you would like to share?
I do. My parting shot is 1 Corinthians 10:31. It says, "So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do it all to the glory of God." So you do this and you're on the right track.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining me today on Inspiring You. I believe that my audience has been educated, informed, and inspired to make a better decision regarding their nutrition. Well, everyone, as I always say, I want you to go forth and the rest of this day in great peace, great joy, and in the unconditional love of God. I will see you next time.